right, we're gonna start the day off right today with my man Jaelen Strong. I'm really excited to have him on. Former NFL receiver, 3rd round draft pick by the Houston Texans. He was an Arizona standout. I mean, his final season caught 82 balls, over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. I mean, Pac-12. Here we go. It's you were doing your thing, and I don't know if people know this, but you went from JuCo to Power 5 to the NFL. I mean, I guess they would call that being a late bloomer, man. And so, I'm sure there's a lot that we're going to jump into to learn about your story. But you went on. You were known for one of those elite physical receivers. I got a son that I'm trying to teach him right now, man. It's all about being able to block. That's the thing that helps you stand out. And so. And now you mean in your career, you also had to overcome a major injury, and that kind of reshaped your career, your identity, now into coaching and becoming a mentor, who just won a state championship. Congratulations.
Right.
Pretty excited about that. I'm sure you are. Now being a voice of transition and growth, man, and just helping spread the word, talking about setbacks and life after football, man. Jaelen, really excited to have you on the podcast. Welcome, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've been trying to do this for a while now, for a little bit now, and I'm excited to really dive into your story. So I really appreciate you joining us here. I mean, especially with a guy who grew up in Philly, Philly football, man. I think, the fans and playing against Philly, being in Philly, man, I know you guys care about your ball a lot, man. So take me through kind of some of your early upbringing. Take me through, what did the game mean for you growing up in that kind of environment?
Oh, okay. So early on, I started playing football when I was 6, and immediately, I've always been competitive. As a kid, I wanted to, win everything, and I was a quarterback my first year playing. I just took the ball and did a bunch of sweeps outside. They couldn't catch me, so that was the play call. Yeah,
because that's when at that league, it's like, let's put our athletes at the position that touch the ball every play. So I get it.
That's all. You got to put the fastest kid at quarterback and let him just do his thing. Yeah. So that's what it was for me, and it was good. And then I finally started really learning the game and loving to learn about the game as I got older. And then I knew, like, okay, I'm paying attention to watching these guys, Randy Moss and Terrell Owens, the best of the best. Brandon Marshall was one guy I always watched. So it was I would watch Calvin Johnson, I would watch these guys, and I'm like, this is crazy. Like, they look like they're having a great time doing this, So I always wanted to do what they did as well. And, basketball was a love of mine too, but I don't know, basketball, you can't really hit people. You can't. It's not like a grind, really. I mean, I don't want to offend no basketball players. Let me stop. Because it is, I can't play basketball. Let me tell you that. I couldn't do it. But the grind through the game, there's so many ups and downs in football. You got to really rely on your teammates and your brothers. And I think it's the closest game that replicates life, So I think it was a calling for me to play football, but as I, being from Philly, everyone's playing basketball. So they're telling you, you're not going to the NFL. There's no way you're going to the NFL. They got the corn-fed guys down south, that's really going. So they're like, you're not, we don't know. It gets cold here. We get 6 months where we can't train outside. Where, down south and out west, they train all year round. So they thought that Philly wasn't going to be one of those football places. So it's good to see Philly football, from where we came from our upbringing and our childhood days, to see where it's at now, and see all the kids just going to make a lot of money, NIL, and in the league. It's amazing.
Yeah, man. And, it's crazy. When you look back on your, you talking about all these guys, and you talk about, especially when I look at right now what's happening in college football, like, you didn't take your traditional path to Power 5. You went to JuCo, and, what did playing in JuCo and then hearing that mindset of, man, it's cold. I don't know if I don't know if you really built to go play in the NFL. Those guys down south are those guys. Right. And so, what did playing in JuCo, what kind of hunger did that bring about for you?
A lot, man. Well, in high school, you get to see your peers sign to schools, and you're not signing. So it could either do one or two things for you. It could make you want to go get it more, or it could make you think something else is for you. But for me, it just made me believe that, it's close, it's in the neighborhood. I might gotta go to another part of town to find it though. So I wasn't discouraged. I knew I could play. I played against some of the best players that had all the offers and all that, and 7-on-7. So I knew I could play. And I just was like, I'm gonna just go the JuCo route. It is what it is. Had a great friend, still close friend, Gerald Bowman, went to USC, was #1 player in the country at the time in JuCo. He called me like, come to JuCo. I went out there to JuCo, and, I just put everything in one basket. I bet on myself, and then I doubled down, and I knew I couldn't go home without a scholarship. So yeah. I had to grind it out. It was two of us. I mean, it was a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was 12 of us living in there.
Wow.
Grown men in Canoga Park, California. And so imagine that. And then we dealing with the political stuff with, that's a Mexican neighborhood, and they got Canoga Park. They call themselves the, CP&K, Canoga Park Killers, right? Yeah. So we out there trying to stay alive and,
right.
Not upset them, but also we still look like we from Philly. So they still thinking we still hood. We might be gang banging. And so it was a lot. It was a struggle. But what it did for me, it turned me into a man, understanding, my life, my livelihood, my resources, my surroundings, my time, not wasting, the importance of having time on your side and then having time against you. It just told me a lot and showed me that also the time doesn't stop. It doesn't wait for no one.
And wait for no man.
And right. So no matter how I was feeling at the time, I couldn't be in my circumstance. I had to be in my vision. I had to, no matter how I felt or what I felt, I had to know it was going to get better and feel and really lean on my faith and know that it was going to get better. So
was there any moment in that and all of that, the growth and the mindset, was there any moment where you realized or did you start to think, man, this may not work out for me?
Oh, more than all that. So anybody going through stuff where they battling, where they like a dream or something they really, really want to attain, it's going to be things, it's almost going to happen every day where it hits your mind like this may not work or it's not for me, and that's part of you knowing that it's working. You know what I mean? Because the people that aren't learning or growing, they never get that, right. This might not work. That's growth in my opinion, where
right.
you able to understand and ground yourself and know that it may not work. So you start to work differently, not necessarily less harder or try to overwork yourself, but you work differently. You start thinking different. You start moving different. Your surroundings and friends are different. So those are things that change and help you get over the hump to be closer to that goal. Where a lot of people, they don't even see it coming. They don't even see them going downhill. And that's, I think, the biggest blessing is having the ability to know and recognize and have the self-awareness to be like, oh, okay, it's definitely tougher than I thought.
Yeah.
So I need to do X, Y, and Z if I want to remain in this space. Right, or I could, run from these problems and act like it's not happening, but then I'm wasting my time and I know where I'm going to end up.
Yeah. So was there a story that you can think of right now that also helped change your mindset while you was playing there in JuCo, that changed your approach to football?
Yeah, man. So I went out there at 17 years old. So at 17, I was out there the first few practices. I'm going against guys 21 to 25 years old. I'm 17. Of course, there are guys 18, 19, but the 21 to 25 is standing out to me because I'm 17,
Right.
you know, but I'm out there and it just took one person to say one thing to me and a switch flipped and I went out there and I was just talking my stuff and going at them and pointing at them and telling them you can't guard me and I'm going off and I'm like, and the coach comes to me and he's like, man, you're 17, we're going to gray shirt you this year. We're not going to let you play. I'm like, man, I'm out here.
Yeah, what?
Yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm out here. They can't mess with me. So I shut all the way down, man. Like I stopped working out. I didn't, I didn't care really anymore because I'm like, I'm 2,000 miles away from home and I can't even play football. So what am I doing? Like, why am I here? I'm calling my mom, telling her I'm going to Lackawanna. I need to leave here. Why are you doing this to me? You don't love your son. You got me all the way out here and they're not even playing me. I'm taking 3 classes, so I'm only getting 9 units this semester. I'm not even a full-time student. I'm living with 12 grown men. I'm 17. Yeah. I can't even figure out what I'm gonna eat. You know what I mean? I'm going through it, man. So through all this, I'm not working out anything. So Gerald Bowman, a friend I mentioned earlier, he stopped talking to me because I wasn't working out and training. He's like, man, you come out here to get better. You ain't come out. And I'm just like, yo, like, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Like I was in such a dark space. And then I started working out again. And, then G invited me to a workout. He was like the number 1 player. So he had colleges, like whenever he trained, they pulling up. So he invited me to like a workout. And University of Arizona was there, Arizona State rivals, So I'm like, I'll go out there, I'll run some sprints. So the University of Arizona was my first offer. And that's kind of what made me pick it up a little bit. And I was just like, okay, maybe it's not about what I want for me, right? Yeah. It's about what I'm called to do, right? Yeah. So that's when it was, that's when it was more, I started really, really connecting with that, man. And I'm like, okay, all right, maybe it wasn't my time to play right now. And I still got an offer from working out, but I still got my 4 years of eligibility too. So, okay, everything's starting to make sense. I'm starting to trust people more. I'm starting to trust the process more. And I think that right there flipped the switch for me. I think my work ethic has been crazy since then. I don't think I ever wanted to be in that space again where I just felt like my circumstance, so I wanted to be my circumstance.
Yeah, man. When you talk about work ethic, looking at your career there, leaving JuCo, what was the difference once you got there that help you, help you open up and get on the field and it happens right away for you. Coming from where you was in JuCo, where you like you said, you went to this dark place where you wasn't working out, you wasn't training, and now to be in a completely different headspace and to be in a place where things are really clicking for you. How did that come about for you?
Really just, man, knowing what I wanted, conviction. Like I'm still like this today. I think I've been like this for my whole life, but when I'm very, very, very like confident and convicted in something, I'm gonna perform very high. Like I'm gonna do my best. So that's what even my kids now, I tell them, man, when you make decisions on the football field, do it with conviction. Make sure you ain't leaving nothing behind when you're making that decision. It's like 4 or 5 head coaches coming from there that came out of that coaching staff. All under Coach Ty Graham, where I'm picking up the phone talking to Texas Tech, and they don't even know my mom's name. I'm picking up the phone talking to USC. They talking about we're going to get you for next year. I'm picking up the phone talking to LSU. They like, can we get you to a camp? I'm like, bro, I'm in JuCo. Like, The way ASU made me feel is the way I feel today about ASU. It's still the same. It's not just the coaches. They do what they do, right? But you got the neighborhood and the communities that really show outpouring love. It's crazy. It's unconditional.
Yeah.
They don't think about what they're doing. They're just loving on you. And that's the community of Arizona State.
No manipulation, just you show up and they take care of you. Yeah, that's what's up.
That's how it is. That's how it is.
Man, hell, you go there, you got 82 catches. Like I said, you got over 1,000 yards receiving. How did you, coming from JuCo, how did you handle that, the high expectations after having having that kind of success?
I was always like, I ain't never paid attention to noise like that. So and I always knew what my goal was. Like I said, my goal wasn't just to go play at Arizona State. It's to get to the NFL.
The league.
Right. So I'm going to bed for the first 3 months at ASU from JuCo. My curfew was 10 p.m. And when people don't know it was okay. It helped because the girl I was dating at the time, she's from Philly. If you put 3 hours on 10, that's 1 a.m.
Right.
So if people don't know, it was cool for me because we falling asleep on the phone and we going to sleep on the phone together because, it's 1 a.m. over there, 10 p.m. my time. So I'm going to sleep that was my curfew for the first 3 months. And that's what got me locked in. That's what set it up for Arizona State. I didn't even do anything other than football until January of that 2014 year.
Right.
So January 2014 was the first time I really stepped outside and saw what ASU campus looked like and everything. I was in my apartment and just football. That's it.
You eat and breathe and live in football, and now you have this type of success, and now you have an opportunity to your dream is right there. You can see it. See it. What was your mindset like that? That you knew that, hey, it's right here for me to go grab. How do I continue to stack on what I've done to get myself ready to make sure I'm ready for this opportunity that's in front of me?
What I should have done better was prepare for this next step. I wasn't prepared the way I should have prepared, man. Mm-hmm. Like I said, my goal was to get to the NFL, right? So mentally at that age, I could not even see past that goal. I should have been get 50 catches by year 2 or I should have been staying it right, but I didn't. I started, worrying about how I could make my family happier than me, or worrying about how I could make my friends not want to not hang around me, or how I could be the flyest in the room, or, my everything went the opposite way. I didn't have that guidance that guys have now that say, hey, bro, you ain't all that. Give me that. Give me 100,000. I'm gonna go open you up 2 Starbucks.
Yeah, I ain't have that's real talk, man.
I didn't have that guidance that, that back then it wasn't cool to do like it is now. See, now they made it so cool to invest your money that these guys are doing it. Where when I was coming out, it wasn't cool. I mean, it was cool, but it wasn't on mainstream cool to do. You wasn't seeing guys coming out and, buying houses for their mom, or you wasn't seeing guys do it as much as you see it now. And it's something I wish I would have done. I wish I'd have had someone, or I wish I'd have, and even if I did have someone, they didn't never do it before. So they were telling me what to do, but they never really went and showed me or did it. Right. So it's bro, you should do this, but you should do that. And it's that do sound good, but I need some motivation too, because if anything goes wrong, it's on me, right? So I need some motivation. Who do you know? And nowadays you have guys that are literally partnering with brands and companies and financial firms, NIL deals, to help them stay on the right path. And that's the best thing. I'm happy that that's happening now, because
man. It's a lot out there. It's a lot for these guys to get, and having the right people around you is very, very important, especially now with some of these guys making millions of dollars playing college ball. So
right. And that's the thing. They got to know that. See, at some point we have to know that money doesn't always come back around. And in fact, never. Sometimes we're blessed and lucky to just have another opportunity to, be in the same space as we were before, right? Yeah. So now it's like with these young men, when they're getting these NILs, they're positioning their money in places where they don't see it for another 10 to 12 years, 10 to 15 years. That's what I wish I had, so I could focus on football, and when I got out there, I definitely did what I was supposed to do, but it's the off the field stuff that young guys don't really understand how much free time they have.
Yeah, especially when you get to the big league.
Yeah, it's so much free time. I mean, you're in the building. Yeah, you get up there at 6 a.m., but you're done at 2 p.m., 3 p.m. What are you going to do from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m.? And you can't call your teammates because they married with kids.
Right.
I'm 20 years old. I was 20 years old. I was 20 years old. I don't know what to do. So what I'm about to do, I'm about to get into some trouble, do something I shouldn't do, spend more money than I should be spending. And that's really what was going on with me in Houston, essentially. Imagine 20 years old in Houston.
Yeah.
3rd round pick. I'm like, shoot, this is the life, Not thinking I'm 20 years old. You a baby. You a kid. You got a whole lot of life to live.
A lot to live. Yeah.
So
routine is important, man. That's the thing.
That's
why these stories are important, man. That's why stories like yours is important for guys to hear, because now we can go back hindsight and share their experience versus, being in it. And there's enough of these kind of stories now where, it's important for young athletes to really take hold and try to do it different than how we did it.
Yeah, and I see guys, man, and the way they act, and the younger guys, maturity levels and stuff like that, man. It really plays a big part in the game, and your age, and leaving for the draft when it's time, and all that plays a big part. I've had a whole nother year. I should have probably stayed, so I could mature a little bit more. Yeah, my gameplay, and all that, what people see was ready, NFL ready, maybe, right? But I needed to mature mentally. I needed another year to see what it's like to sit my butt down and be patient. I wanted to leave, and I got what I wanted, and I shouldn't have been granted what I wanted. I should have been forced to stay another year and mature. So that way, when I got to the league, everything that was happening at a high rate, I didn't have to be so hypersensitive to. I was hypersensitive to everything. The way a coach looked at me, the way a coach talked to me, the way the lunch lady gave me my plate. Like, I don't know. I felt like everyone was against me. I was soft. I was hypersensitive. I was young, immature. And that's a lot what we see now today with these young guys. They are very, very good. But I think they forget that they are not bigger than the program, and the same way, I feel like as good as Justin Jefferson is, I feel like Minnesota thinks they'll see another one, as good as, Saquon Barkley is, I think Philadelphia believes they'll see another one. And that's just the way it goes, because over time it's proven itself,
Yeah.
Barry Sanders, you thought he was one of one. Yeah, he was. But then you got Saquon Barkley coming not too, another 15, 20 years later, right? The same with basketball and all. It's just these young guys, they're getting a lot of money. They're having their way, but they're not truly happy in what they are doing, because they got to, and what happens with that is just instant gratification, man. When you want something right now, and you're used to receiving it over and over again, when I want it, I get it. When I want it, I get it. And now I'm in the NFL where they controlling everything. What you get is what they say you get. And when you get it on their time, whether it's a catch, a target, whether it's a touchdown, a carry, a rush, it's not on your time. And that's different what we signed up. That's what it's not on your and I think it's showing, you see receivers, we go through it a lot, with George Pickens recently, and then A.J. Brown before, all that stuff is just, it's hard to learn how to deal with that. When in our life have we been taught to how to deal with that stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're always the guy, been the guy. Everyone's always been the one to bow down to you. And, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And the minute you get there and you make one, I just open the book on the sideline. And now everyone's it's like hard. These guys don't know how to deal with that stuff, and they don't have no one has an answer for that. And it's because it's just something, maturity levels, man. It's like when we're big kids at big ages in grand schemes.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the NFL, it's like everyone, the same way you treat a little kid, we technically give athletes that same respect and regard. When they need something done, people run to it and get it done.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, with.
Man, you're making me excited, man. This is why your voice and these stories are really important, because, it's important that guys who've done it and seen it and been there, we know how we've been treated. And now you see how it also stunts your growth, your personal growth, because of how people show up for you in those things. And it's not saying that people shouldn't show up that way. What we're saying is that when you look at what people are doing for you, you should be able to be humble and also be able to learn and grow from it versus, take it for granted.
Yep.
So that's awesome, man. Well, we're gonna do a quick 2 minute. We're gonna do a little pause here and do some rapid fire questions here for you. You ready for that?
Yep.
All right. Give me one of the toughest DBs you've ever had to face.
Oh, Antonio Cromartie, easy.
Yeah, long, rangy.
He's strong too.
He's strong.
After him is Aqib Talib. Yep.
Oh,
I'll never forget it.
Tough.
And then Marcus Peters.
Okay. Oh yeah, and Marcus will talk that trash to you while he's locking you down.
They all do. They all crazy.
All right. Best quarterback you've ever played with?
Oh, it's my JuCo quarterback. He's a dog now up in Canada. Nick Arbuckle.
Nick Arbuckle. All right. We got to
Nick
find him.
Arbuckle. Yeah, he's a dog. He's up there in Canada, won the Great Cups and all that. He's a dog.
Okay. One route you love to run?
I like the bang 8, but they gonna say back. They gonna tell me to say fade with the back shoulder. I like that back shoulder.
For the people who don't know what a bang 8 is, what is a bang 8?
Oh, it's a post before foul side step. You stick it, angle it.
There you go. All right. Old lineman, we still know what we're doing here.
Oh, for sure. Y'all, come on. Y'all know everything. Y'all got to hear it all. Y'all sit in all the meetings.
All right. One NFL stadium that really hits different.
Oh, Minnesota. They get that skull going. Ooh.
That horn.
Yeah. Minnesota. I like that stadium. And Buffalo too, because the fans right there. They right on you.
Yeah. All right. One rookie mistake that you now can laugh at.
Man, rookie mistake. I had a few of them. Going to Vegas. When our coach told us he said, I better not see no rookies in Vegas, Coach O'Brien. He said, I better not see no rookies in Vegas. This was right after little mini camp OTA, about to go to, just a little week for Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Man, I already had my flight booked though, man. I'm like, dang, I should never went. I ended up going. I ran into our offensive coordinator in Vegas. I was like, that's crazy.
Got me.
I was like, I could laugh at it now though, but I was sick about that for like the whole time I was in Houston.
Oh man, say less. All right. What's your favorite touchdown that you've ever scored?
Oh, and ever?
Oh
yeah, the USC Hail Mary, caught that Hail Mary versus USC. Had to get him up out of here.
Yeah.
I'm undefeated versus USC too. So anybody watching that's a USC, I'm undefeated versus them.
Mic drop. All right.
Yeah.
One coach who helped change your outlook on football.
Who taught me a lot of football. Is so crazy that I say this, right? Bill O'Brien and George Godsey. They taught me mostly everything I know about the game of football. And I'm not saying that to dig at any previous coaches. They are just very, very good at what they do. And Bill O'Brien, George, they ran like real complex offenses. The Patriots offense. I think George Godsey, I forget where he at right now. I don't want to get the Lion, but I think he in Baltimore. I'm not sure though. Tight ends. I'm not sure though. But they are real, real good, man. Football mind guys. Like I would always, I text Coach O'Brien not too long ago, just thanked him for everything, even, regardless of how things ended. And George Godsey too, I always reach out to him and see what's up because they definitely taught me a lot about the game of football, protections, like mic points, coverages, reading coverages. I always knew coverages, but how to read the coverage, how to know where they're going. Right. They taught me a lot. So I credit a lot to Bill O'Brien and George Godsey, even though people, joke on my time in Houston and stuff like that, how wild it was for me. But it was definitely that's where I learned ball. Yeah, not gonna lie.
That's what's up. All right, last one for you. What one word to describe your football career?
Blessed. Nice. And grateful. I know you said one word, but blessed and grateful.
Yeah.
I'm grateful.
Perfect, man. Well, appreciate that. That was awesome, man. We're going to jump back in. Got several more questions for you before we wrap this thing up. Now, back in Houston, you showed some flashes early in your career before you tore your ACL. What was that moment like where you felt like, all right, I'm here now. This thing is starting to click for me. And then all of a sudden you tear your ACL and now you have to handle that setback. What was that like for you?
It was a little weird. It was like when I started getting used to the game speed and knowing where this person was going to be and all that. I didn't have to run full speed every play. I knew, it was tough because I was on like a 1-year deal and then just rehabbing. I wanted to rehab with my people. They didn't want me to, so the Jaguars released me. And then I had to grind back without being on the team. And it's like that same thing kind of JuCo feeling. It's like you out here, you grinding, but for what though? It's like you ain't got no offer yet, man. So what you grinding for? And it's like I ain't have a team ready to sign me. And I was like, shoot, I know they ain't going to sign me if I don't get this knee right. So I need to get my knee right. And then got my knee right, had a real good workout in Cleveland. And Cleveland had signed me. I had a real good workout in Cleveland. And it was before Odell came. So that was like good. Because I feel like if Odell was already there and I had to work out, they wouldn't have probably signed me. So it was before he came, and then he ended up coming. So it was good, man. It was a good way to. I actually had this. That was the first time in my life I thought about life after football, and just putting everything in perspective and saying, like, bro, you 24, 25 years old, man. Your life nowhere near. You got better figure something out ASAP. You know what I mean? And that's where my mind went right there. It was like adding on to that reality of, understanding, okay, again, we got to work a little differently now. We not the same. You just coming off an injury. You got to work different, bro. You got to be able to be ready for the adjustment of not playing football. You got to be ready. It's coming. You got to know that it's coming, you know, and that's probably where my mind was. And, you know, I was in Cleveland for a bit. Then I went out to Vegas or before they went to Vegas, I think it was their last year in Oakland, I went out to the Bay for a tryout with the Raiders. They were going to sign me, but they were only interested in signing me to practice squad. And it was like 2 weeks left. And my daughter was just born, so
you're like,
nah, I ain't doing it.
Nah, we good.
Yeah.
Well, do you think that was a low moment for you? If it was, how did you climb out of it?
Yeah, I didn't feel it though. You know, some people in low moments and don't feel it. Mm-hmm. I was in a low moment and didn't have time to feel it. I was just acting, going through the motions, being mean to people, probably treating people like shit, shouldn't even, you know, doing things I shouldn't be doing, man. You know, that's how you act when you're unaware of you being in a low moment or depressed, right? Mm-hmm. And I was really in that space of like trying to figure out, are people only my friend because I play football? You know, like I was in that space, man. I was like, am I going crazy? If people moving away from me because I'm going crazy, people never seen me be weak before, huh? So they don't think something could happen to, like I could be hurt or sad.
Yeah.
So there's people that looking up to you, that look up to you all the time, are now acting like you look up to them. I'm like, what's going on? But the whole time it's because they are not used to seeing you in this weak space. They're not used to seeing you this low. You got to get it up. Come on, let's go, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where I woke up. I'm like, it's not y'all, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's my confidence is low. I'm not
self-awareness, man.
Yeah, it's important. So being mindful of myself and what I'm feeling, that's another thing. A lot of men don't allow ourselves to be mindful because we get mad at ourselves thinking that we selfish or something. Yeah. Because we mindful. But it's like, no, being mindful, it can only help those around you because you mindful of yourself, which helps you treat others better. So
gotta put your mask on first.
You got to, man. Got to, you know? So, and that's why this is a good talk for real, but that's why, like, with this game of football, man, we are taught to disguise everything. Everything. We got to disguise everything. We walk around disguising everything. You happy? No, I ain't happy. Whole time you jumping up and down inside. It's crazy, right? Yeah. It's like, it's crazy, but no one ever shifts our mental into that mode of, all right, now show it, right? We got to show it, right? Because we are, you know, it's a lot of people that, like, that's what happens. You see AJ Brown, you don't see him react to nothing. You see him react to one thing, now the world's crashing down. It's because we don't allow him that space to react.
Right.
You know, we don't allow men, not even just men, but people in general in high places, we don't allow them that space to be real, to be, you know, some have a bad day, have a bad game, have a, you know, moment that's not usually them. We don't allow them that space. As soon as they do it, we condemn them and put them in a place lower than we ever existed. And it's like, how can we take somebody that we looked at all the way up here and put them in a box below where we never even existed, where we never existed, you know? Right. And that just comes from us holding the, you know, superficials and all that stuff to a higher standard than we should, you know? And that's just me talking and getting at, you know, the whole point of after football, we deal with that stuff. That's the low point we are in, because I bet the day Larry Fitzgerald retired, I bet he got 1,001 text messages the whole week. I bet that very next month, he got 25 from his normal people he see every day. And that stuff like that.
Less and less.
Less and less. They signed D-Hop to Larry Fitzgerald last year. I know D-Hop was getting more love than Fitz, and Fitz in the Raptors. Yeah. But it's just how it go.
Right.
You know, it's like that's just what it is. It's like, what are we preparing? Like, what are we preparing ourselves to be after that? Like, how can we, you know? And that's really the mental health part of it, and that's what I contribute a lot of our NFL suicides to. Us not having a purpose after the game of football, which leads to drug use, opioid use. You don't think clear, things happen, and God forbid you take your life or you do something that puts you in position to take your life. But it's happening at a high rate because these young men have never heard the word no. They never heard the word, you got to wait. Hey, no, it's not your time.
And it's the self-awareness piece, man. That's why you giving me chills right now. That's why I do what I do.
We might got to do a part 2, bro.
Yeah, we'll have to do a part 2 for sure. But you're hitting on everything that I'm passionate about, man. Of helping guys become aware of themselves, and that's starting early in life, starting at a young kid who have these goals. But then, how do I understand my intangibles? How to understand my attributes so that I'm aware of how these things transition to different environments. And so man, you're over here preaching, and which kind of got me in the mindset of thinking about as you fast forward from your career, you start thinking about life after sports, after football. And now you're in a position where you're coaching high school football, you're coaching these young men who you get to share this kind of wisdom to. You guys just won a state championship. What led you to coaching, and now how are you sharing that kind of mindset, the things that you've gone through, so other athletes don't make those same mistakes, or they learn how to do it better?
Right. So what led me to coaching is so I've been doing youth camps since I was 19 years old. So before I even was at ASU, but before my second year at ASU, we did a youth snap guide camp. Is our nonprofit from Philly. We did a snap guide camp, my first annual one, and the MVP of that camp was DJ Moore.
Wow.
So that's how long we've been doing it. And DJ, I think, was in going to high school. I think he was a freshman in high school at that time, going to be a sophomore. But he won the MVP at that camp. And then we just kept going with the camps. And I found a love of like being around the kids and teaching them. And then it just grew, man. And I've been doing it ever since. I try to give these kids life lessons. I tell them every day that, hey, man, you're going to be 2% of your life, you're a football player. 98% of your life, you're going to be a young man. And you need to know how to be the best husband, father, the best son, brother, cousin, community leader, all that before you decide to be a great football player. And that's the only way you're going to be a great football player. You got to take care of all those things first. And that's what makes you become a great football player, because you need to have those tools and those tangibles in order to be your best on the football field. So that's what I lead with them. I tell the parents that come, try to bring their kids to my school, we gonna coach football now, but I'm going to coach your son in life too. And if it's too much for you and your son to hear real life lessons, please do not come to my program.
Not the place for you. Not the place for you.
Nope.
Man, that's awesome, man. I know these kids and these parents are glad to have someone like you that can share real, authentic experience, but also be vulnerable enough to also share it in a way that is going to help them succeed, because you want to see nothing but the best for them. As we start to wrap up here, man, and we definitely gonna have to do a part 2, but as we start to wrap up and I started thinking about, all your experience, all the things in your life, we talk, you sound like you are very reflective. You're able to reflect and look back on things. If you had to go back and talk to your 17-year-old self, and as you reflect, before JuCo, before ASU, before the NFL, what would you say to that young man that's standing there looking back in the mirror at you?
I would say, don't create fake hypotheticals. Like, don't create like I was big at tricking myself out of situations. I would create, I would self-sabotage myself. I would create things that never even happening and go off of that. Now I'm angry. Now I'm walking around the world mad and nothing even happened like that. You know, it's just the thoughts of it. And, you know, so I would tell myself, man, be who you are, stay true to yourself, and everything will work out.
That's what's
if I was always if I stayed to myself and stayed true, a lot of those lessons that I've learned, I wouldn't have had to learn. But, you know, it's a good thing I did learn them too, right? But I wanted to change circumstances and be in places that my feet weren't in. And I was trying to force the issue. And that ultimately ended up in, you know, digging myself out of holes and holes and holes. So, you know, now that I'm soaring, don't have no plans on going back down unless I'm going back down to pick up a brother or a sister.
I love it, man. I love it. That's awesome. All right, Jay, my last question for you, man. Golly, man, this has been a good conversation. But my last question for you, when you think back again over, you know, all your experiences and where you are today, you know, what's one or two intangibles that's made you who you are today?
Believing in myself. For one, nobody can tell me nothing about myself. Nobody.
Self-belief.
Nobody. I'm always that. And I should have led with this. My faith in God. My faith in God is first. Kids, everyone, my faith in God is first. You have nothing without that. If you don't have faith in something, I'm not going to say, you know, everybody's different, but my faith is in God, Jesus Christ, okay? And if you don't have faith in something, you don't have any guidance. You don't have a roadmap. You don't know where you're going. You don't have you don't know where you're headed. You're just winging it.
Yeah.
And that's what I say to that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, man, this has been a fantastic conversation. You know, one other intangibles that I give to you is you sound like your work ethic, your ability to overcome challenges and continue to put the work in that belief in yourself, man. So I really appreciate you sharing your journey. It's a real one. It's one that's powerful, and I hope that whoever's listening to this podcast today, can take something out of it. A young kid or a coach or a parent that can learn something from, you know, a story like yours who've been there and done it, man. So I really appreciate you joining me on the Intangible Podcast. It's been awesome.
I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for having me, man. And we can do a part 2, part 3, whenever. Just hit me up. We good.